What's up, guys? I'm going to be recording this with my camera. All right, so today we're going to be talking about a topic that I used to touch on quite a bit before, but I have not said anything about for some time, and that is health. What I've been realizing is that once you get your shit together, right? Like, you get it. You understand how the game works. There's no shortcuts, there's no phony little like things you can do, some techniques, and then everything blows up. It's you understand that you have to take massive action, you have to consistently take action, you have to sacrifice and commit and just do what needs to be done to move your business forward. Let's say you have a couple of clients and you're working towards a good service, right? When you're at that point, the only thing that can really bring you down is your health. Literally, as an entrepreneur, you have control over everything else. None of the other stuff really like apply to us. Market, what's happening, no boss, nothing. Like all the other stuff that control other people's lives is kind of like up to us. But the only one thing that it really comes down to that you don't have control over and that can really bring you down is your health. And I know a lot of people roll your eyes when you come up across this topic, especially because maybe you're young and you don't have anything specific you can point at. Overall, you're pretty strong, energetic, enthusiastic. You can run, jump, do backflips and shit, which you should be really grateful for. But even then, if your health is completely fine, what you would realize is a lot of times what we consider laziness or some just kind of like business problems, it can come down to, a lot of it can come down to your health. So in this video, I wanted to just kind of explain this concept. I mean, it's not a concept, it's what I'm experiencing right now. And kind of like depict down to you directly how the condition of your health can have a literally a direct effect of your day-to-day workflow. And yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I'll backtrack a bit and give you a breakdown of what does somebody's day look like when they are being successful. Okay, let's start there, right? So putting health aside for a second, and let's look at like the dynamics that need to be taking place repetitively, day to day, for you to grow a successful agency or a successful business. And in my experience, it comes down to, first of all, 4 quadrants, right? Like literally, we live in time and time exists and we have 4 quadrants of time. First quadrant, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Second quadrant, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Third quadrant, 12 noon to 4 p.m. And fourth quadrant, 4 p.m. to around maybe like 7, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., like that, right? The 4 major times during the day when you can do work slots in, right? They're divided by, little breaks like lunch, dinner, stuff like that, and also times of the day. Your energy flows different for different times of day. So let's go through a little bit. I've touched on this briefly before, but I'll do a quick version and I'll speed up my talking speed and kind of just go through the main parts of these things, right? So number 1, from experience, no denial. 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. is by far the most powerful time to get shit done, right? Anytime I write down, like the night before, I write down like, okay, the first thing you're gonna do after you wake up, you do your morning routine, then you're gonna do this one thing. You're gonna build this one system. I kill it almost every single time. I absolutely crush it. And if I was trying to do that one thing, the same thing, after lunch for the last 1 week, I failed every single time. Why? Because it's pretty like self-explanatory. My phone's turned off and it's in another room. Not only is my phone turned off, I'm not even expecting anybody to reach out to me. It's freaking 4 a.m., right? Or 5 a.m. The sun's down, right? There's a certain feeling when the rest of the world is asleep and you are out here doing what you do because you believe in what you do. It just has a different effect. And there's multiple other stuff, right? If you live in a house with other people, then they're not awake. My roommates, whatever, they're sleeping. There's no clickety clackety, nothing. Like there's no sound that can take you away. It's just you. And if you're really smart, you can put certain things, like for example, writing down what you want to do, and then like opening up the tabs in the Chrome browser, what you're gonna need to do that task that you wrote down. So when you have your computer and you sit down in the morning, that's all you have. Like you don't even have to open up other windows. There's no reason to automatically type in FAC and then go to Facebook, because that's all you have in your Chrome, and that's it. With little things like that, you can be extra focused, right? But all that stuff aside, the point is, the most powerful part of the day, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Next one, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Still very, very powerful, especially nowadays when I don't have my phone during the day, right? I literally just don't have my phone. Like clients can't reach me. I don't own a phone at this point. I'll make a video about that. I've been saying that. So, but the point is, it can be still very powerful. Like if 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. The grade is 9 and a 10, this could be like a 7 or 8, right? Your energy is good, especially if you don't need a big breakfast. So there's few things that is very key. If you like a pretty lean breakfast, like I eat like gluten-free pasta. I tested pasta for a long time, and then I tried gluten-free and I say, whoa, this is like way better. I eat some pasta, but mostly like protein, and it's fine, right? If you don't eat at all, it's probably the best. Intermittent fasting, but I won't get too much into it, right? The point is not to like how to actually optimize it. We can do another video about that later. But the point I was trying to make is that these are the things that what it really comes down to, right? Like a business is the amount of clients you'll get, the amount of delivery you will do is literally the amount of work you can get done on a day-to-day basis. That's it, right? Like we can all agree on that, right? It's like two people, one works half a quadrant twice, 3 times a week. That might sound like not a lot, but most people are not even doing that. I can assure you. I myself, for most of this business, have barely worked even 1 quadrant. Now I've sat in front of the computer for what I call 3-4 quadrants, like all day, all our times. But when you measure how much work I've done that you can put a number to, it's probably not even 4 hours, right? It's probably 3 to 4 hours. When I was absolutely crushing it in sales, like, when I make those like times where I'm like, all right, this is it. Like, I want to go hard. I do sell about 2.5 to 3 quadrants, and I sell hard, right? And I can attest to that because I measure it. Like, you can see my T-Mobile records, and that's how much time I've called. That's a different thing, right? And it's very small amounts of time that I've been able to do that. And you guys have been able to witness the results instantly. Every time I'm in shithole and then I get in that and I'm really working it, results happen. It's because I'm taking so much more action than I normally take in one vertical. I get really good, really, really fast, and I get 3 to 6x more done, right? So the point there you have to take away is that you're probably not working, especially if you're one of those guys, who's like, I've been working 16 hours a day. I don't have a single client, and, I'm not really like even ranking or trying to I don't have like a proper product. You're not working even 1 quadrant, right? So understand that. What I mean by, when I say 1 quadrant, I mean you're working that 4 hours and it's solid. And if you had to put it down, measured work, it will come down to around 3 to 4 hours of work in a vacuum. By that, what I mean is that, if you had to like guess how long that work would take, it's taking you the amount of time, or maybe a bit more than what you think it should take. So anyways, where was I going with this? You have those quadrants, and as I was saying, most people, if you're just even working properly 1 quadrant a day, 5 days a week, weekends aside, you will get more done than 90% of the community, right? And the reason why all of this that I'm saying comes back to health is what I've been realizing lately, is that based on the amount of work you do, right? Like if you're sitting around and just browsing YouTube, going on Facebook a bit, and then you're checking some rankings, and then like seeing if you should follow up some, and after that switching back to like, some link building and see which links and stuff. Oh, there's a blog about Ahrefs and about some of that stuff. And you're just like, you call that shit work? it's fine. Like you're not gonna feel any difference. Like, you know, even if you have certain kind of problems, health doesn't even come in the equation yet because you have a problem with your mindset about what like about your workflow. But once you fix your workflow and you're, again, going back to the beginning of the video where you're like, okay, I get it. This is the amount of action I have to take. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to dial this many, you know, people, and then I'm going to reach out to this many people. And after that, in the afternoon, I'm going to work with my team to get this, and this done. What can happen is health can come in the way. And how I want to structure this is basically I'll show like very common health problems, especially industry specific, and I'll go down to more specific ones that most of you won't have. But I just want to, you know, share this with you guys so you can have some sympathy for people who do have it. But more importantly, just know that you're not alone. If you're watching this and you have some health problems, this is something that might make sense to you. And it can go something like this. One of them, very common, that I can suspect in our industry is like carpal tunnel, right? You type too much, your hand starts to hurt. So let's say you're building systems in the morning, right? Where I would recommend 100% you at least try to build systems. For anybody who doesn't have some kind of workflow set up right now and you're watching this and you're thinking like, well, I know I work better in the middle of the night because, you know, stuff like that, because I've tested it. Try to shift to this quadrant level first, right? If you know your chronotype and all that crazy stuff and you've like worked it out and you're efficient, then by all means go for it. But if you're just like one of those guys who's just not taking much action and you think you're like the type of pure person who's not a morning person, you might want to cut that bullshit and go to this quadrant. All right, now coming back to my point that I was saying. Let's say you're building systems, right, in the morning. And then you want to get into like client work, right? Let's say you do on page. Let's say you still do your, you know, on page and stuff like that, and you want to actually like work on a client a day or whatever it is, however you do it. You don't do some link building, right? And you focused your day. What you're gonna find is that whenever you're doing very like specific tasks, one after one, without break, like the way you should when you are being productive, just banging out high-level tasks as the owner of the business, and whether it be building systems, processes, teaching or trainings for your, you know, like your employees, whatever it is, like high-level stuff. Most of the times they require a lot of energy, whether it be mental focus, which will be the most common type of energy you need to extract down and focus in to build shit. Next would be maybe like, you know, actual typing out stuff. Even though you're not doing like repetitive, tedious work most of the time, it's going to require you to really get into it and think and work hard and basically just have a lot of output. So let's go with the most basic term, right? Like I was doing. I know I'm just going like it's turning into a very ranty, weird, all over the place video, but I'm trying my best to get this out. Let's say you're building systems and that's something that needs a lot of mental focus. Well, if your health is not in place, so your diet is not right, your exercise, you don't have, you know, any kind of exercise, and your sleep is not good, you know, like let's just talk about these three things. Like I made a video called The Foundation about this in the beginning of 2018 or end of 2008. I think beginning of 2018, The Foundation, right? And I talked about these like three to four main things. Let's say just those things are like, even one of them is not that good. Let's say your diet, right? Let's say your sleep is fine. You go to the gym once or twice a week, something like that. But let's say your diet is not good, right? You're out there eating, let's say you're not even like a trash guy. You're not eating McDonald's every day, but you're just eating like, you know, fried stuff here and there, and there's no routine. You just eat whatever you can want, you know, eating one chicken cookies and shit like that. Do a test, right? Do a test in the morning. When you want to start, like, you know, like make a plan. Okay, what are the main things I need to do for the business? Like you know, to pick out 3 systems. I realized that at this point there's no end of systems. Like every month I think of another 10 to 15 systems to create and another 4 to 5 to go rebuild and tweak and upgrade. This is like an ongoing thing. So if you think about I'm gonna build this and quit like I used to, stop that shit, because it's not gonna be it's not gonna get you anywhere. Just own it and be like, I need to grow the skill and be a person who can think through and make things thorough and easy for other team members to follow and come to peace with that. Having that said, do that test. One day, eat your normal routine, like 1 week, eat your normal routine, eat that food, and try to build a system. And really try to be self-observative. And this alone is something that is not even possible for most people. Like, if you don't meditate and you don't have a clear head, I don't think you can even tell how your brain is functioning as it is. It just is. Like, you start something and after 40 minutes later, you're like, oh my God, I've been like, I've been wasting time. And I've been like this most of my life. It's just over the last even like 6-8 months, I would say, I've been getting a little better at catching myself. Whenever I'm out of focus, I'm like, I know it, right? Maybe it's because of the journaling I do. Maybe it's because I do those timestamps of exactly what I'm doing. I don't know what it is, but overall, I can sense now that I'm a person who can kind of like catch myself when I'm wasting time. And it's like a superpower, right? But if you do that test, you'll find out, like within a week, guys, that there is an sky to land difference between what you eat and how much work output you can have. Try to munch on a few cookies, eat a burger, and try to build a system. And be observative. Like, give yourself a time. Like, okay, I think this is gonna, you don't have to be like too crazy. Just say like, I think this is gonna be 1.5 to 2 hours. It's about like 3 to 4 major steps. I'm gonna break it down into about 15-16 steps. And okay, let's go. All right. And try that. Once you tried it, take very good notice how many times you zone out, how many times you actually like get stuck and be like, oh my fucking God, like I don't know what else to do. Like, how do I even break it down? How many times that kind of stuff happen? How many times do you zone out and you like zone back in and like, oh my God. Okay, I still have to come back to this? Okay, where was that? Oh my God, I was at effort. I just can't put effort. Try that out. And then the next week, give a couple of days, maybe you want to even detox a little bit. Like, like do a like half day fast, full day fast, clean out your system, drink some juices and stuff like that. And then do it in an empty stomach. Don't even have to eat anything. Just do it in an empty stomach. In the morning, wake up, wash your face, go do something. What do you do? If you want to go for a walk, it's one of the most beautiful things you can do. If you are into meditation, obviously I highly recommend it. You do that, you do whatever you do. After that, go and sit down. You have your thing written, empty stomach, and try to build a system now. The same thing, or like same kind of caliber if you want, right? It doesn't even have to be the same stuff actually. You'll realize the amount of difference that you have in your output will be just unmatched. You'll be a different person within 1 week, just from that one change. And as you add on better sleep, better diet, a simple exercise routine. Don't have to be any kind of crazy CrossFit shit. Even like I see a friend of mine who hasn't worked out like forever. Like he never worked out in his life, and then now he joined like a CrossFit gym. He just got injured and his shoulder's like sticking out a little bit here. I mean, not to bash on him. I'm proud of him to actually go out and take care of his health finally. But the point was like sometimes these things, guys, like it's not like doesn't have to be as crazy as it sounds. Like I don't know if it doesn't take a genius to find out that CrossFit is like some extreme way to go about it. Like it doesn't have to be like that. And if you ask me, I would say with these kind of things, consistency and long-term things that work is the way to at least start, right? You don't have to go full on and then injure yourself and then it's not even an option anymore, right? Anyways, not to go down that rant. The point I was saying is that if you add few more of these things and you fix some core aspects, you'll see how the quadrants of your life start changing. And you make a goal. I want to be the type of person who does at least one quadrant. And I would say that like start there. Do not think like, okay, from tomorrow I'm going to do like 4 quadrants. Trust me, it's not going to work. This just doesn't work like that. It's building up to it, right? You're going to choose one main thing you're going to do and you're going to absolutely crush it. Usually I would recommend choosing the ones that are very important to your business and will move the needle. The way to find that out is to take a moment, shut everything off, take 2 hours of time and a notebook and a pen and just write out the main things that you believe in your heart is needed to grow your business. And then after you're done, the first 5 or 6 will come right away. After that, the next 5 will take like 30 minutes. The next 10 to get to like about 20 will take like hour to hour 15 minutes. Like that'll be like where it's painful, but that's where the golden nuggets come out. Once you're done with that, choose a couple of things. Just choose 1 or 2, and then that will be your next day's first task, right? Prioritization. And that will be what you do in your first quadrants of every day, right? Like next week or this coming week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just choose the main things and only do those things. Fully finish that one thing. Take 2 to 4 hours to finish the one thing. And if you're able to start your day and you're literally doing one of the most priority tasks, you're already way ahead of you had been in any other form of workflow that I can think of, that I have ever experienced. So take this with some weight, right? It's pretty eye-opening to me. I know it can sound very wooey and out there, but trust me guys, this is what it comes down to. And the video is already over 20 minutes, so I'm not going to go into all those other quadrants in health, which is supposed to be the main topic of the video. But the overall gist of it, guys, is you get it. Take care of your health and optimize your health so it can better serve you at what you're doing. And optimize your life and work so it overall is just a cycle, right? I was going to mention that if you keep going, and let's say you master one quadrant, and mean like, you know, it comes pretty easy to you, you can really get down to and get shit done in the first quadrant, and then when 8 a.m. hits and you start working again, if you start getting some problems such as even carpal tunnel, you'll be a direct hinder. You can't type now. Then if you're going to move forward and you say, all right, okay, I'm gonna move this and I'm gonna, you know, do sales first, and you're gonna call, let's say you don't have like, you know, like other parts are not optimized properly, you'll start getting tired and frustrated more easily, because that's something you still have to pick up the phone and call a lot. If you have some kind of other stuff, like, you know, a lot of people, I guess it's pretty common to have some headaches. When you talk a lot of times, you get headaches. This happened to me sometimes too. Then now you can't even call as much as repetitively. Right now, I'm trying to go for as common to as specific, right? So let's say like low energy, kind of just tired. It's probably due to your health. Most people then not, but you call that as just like, you know, other stuff like, oh, you know, I can't work like 4 a.m. I'm not a morning person. But you're just your functionality overall, your diet and everything is just probably messed up. That's like very common, right? Like a lot of people, most people. Then I'm talking about something that's like, you know, carpal tunnel. It's a specific thing about your hand. I would say, I don't know, maybe like 30%. I don't know, man. Like about in my industry, I would say it's higher than average. Would might have it. Then we get into like headaches and other stuff. Now you're really getting into like specific things, but I would say it's not that uncommon either, right? I don't know, whatever. And then after that, it might be actually specific problems that each person has. It could be specific problems a family member has. A lot of people watching this have kids, have a wife, have other loved ones who have health problems, maybe that you have to cater to them. If you're in that position, that's a direct hinder in your business day to day, right? These are real things. This really happens. This is life. So if there's one thing to take away from this video is start taking your health seriously, guys. It is the only thing, if you are a go-getter and you're not afraid of hard work and you understand this game, it is the only thing that can bring you down. And by creating a lifestyle where you value your health and value the health of your loved ones to the point where they're also, like basically guide them, it's going to create an atmosphere where you can have much more success in your business. Even if you didn't in your business, realistically, it's actually worth it in of itself, right? But you will have in your business. So that's pretty much it. It's a message. Just wanted to get it out there. Hope somebody got value out of this. Peace.